Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the CBC Spotlight Series. My name is Jim Brockman. I am on the admissions team, and I'm also your host for our Spotlight Series. We've got an awesome broadcast for you today. We will be taking a deeper dive into our honors program, and we have two very important guests with us. Before we get to that, I do want to remind you that tomorrow, keep in mind, tomorrow, Thursday, we will have our Chick-fil-A in chat. That's going to be at noon tomorrow. There's an opportunity for your son to meet with a student virtually, talk a little bit more about his experience here at CBC, and that student can answer any questions that your son might have about what his experience would be like here at CBC. So keep that in mind. Of course, every Tuesday, we are offering our coffee and conversation. We'll provide the coffee, you bring the conversation. Everybody that joins us for that will receive a free Starbucks gift card, but it's a chance for you to meet virtually with our admissions team. So all you have to do is go to www.cbchs.org/register/, and that'll give you an opportunity to register for all of these events. Of course, if you found us here today for the Spotlight Series, you know that all summer we will be highlighting different programs around CBC. Last week we highlighted the STEM program. This week we are looking at our honors program. Of course, we've got fine and performing arts coming up. We have leadership. We've got our just overall academic program and many more. So again, continue to check back with us. Hopefully you'll join us for a lot of these different Spotlight Series, give you an opportunity just to learn more about CBC. Of course, we are also offering in-person tours all summer long. So if you are comfortable and you feel like you want to come and check out CBC over the summer, we are offering in-person tours. So just make sure to reach out to our admissions team, and we'll get you all set up. With that being said, we are proud to kick off our second edition of the Spotlight Series, where we shine a light on our CBC Honors Program. As this goes on today, also, make sure you're aware that you can chat with us. We have members of our admissions team who will be answering your questions live through the chat feature. So make sure to utilize the chat feature if you do have questions, and we'll answer those questions live. With that being said, let's bring in our two guests from our honors program. First, we've got our Dean of the Honors Program, a 2003 graduate of CBC, Craig Nicoletti, and the Executive Director for Student Life here at CBC, Mr. Patrick Walsh. Gentlemen, welcome and thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Patrick, jump right in. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do here.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mr. Brockman. My name is Patrick Walsh. I'm the Executive Director of Strategy and Student Life here at CBC. I've been a part of the CBC family for 7 years, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. It's a passionate place where people work so hard every day to deliver a great high school experience to young men from all over St. Louis. Before coming to CBC, I was going for several years, and prior to that, I worked on Capitol Hill. I was in politics for a while. So I have a variety of experiences professionally. I also have a Master's of Business Administration from SLU, and I did my undergrad work at Northern Arizona University, where I have a degree in philosophy. So I've kind of touched on a lot of different areas in my life and in my career. My strength and my weakness here at CBC are one and the same. I have a diverse background, but I've never really been a teacher, had never really been in the world of academia until I started working here at CBC. I try to leverage my other experiences to help our students here prepare for life after school, after high school, and after college. And I get to learn every day from our teachers who do such a great job with our young men in the classroom.
Yeah, and that's an excellent. I mean, your wealth of experiences obviously have benefited CBC throughout your time, and now you're working more closely with the honors program. And I think it's important we bring in the Dean of the Honors Program, Craig Nicoletti. Give us a little bit of background, Craig.
Thank you for having me here on this the Spotlight Series. This is really exciting to share information about our program and about our students. So I graduated from CBC, as my name down there says. I'm a 2003 graduate. From there, I studied history. I have both my bachelor's and master's degree in history. I received my degree from UMSL in history, my master's, but I also studied at the Kennedy Library over the summers as I started teaching here at CBC. I've taught now that I just finished my 13th year at CBC, or at teaching. I took a 1-year sabbatical and taught in Raleigh, North Carolina at a boarding school called St. Mary's School. But other than that, I've been at CBC, and I'm so excited to continue my work here, and believing in the school and the mission that it provides.
Yeah, and between you guys have really crafted a great vision for what our honors program is, and really what it could do for those academically gifted students. CBC has always had academically gifted students, these really, really outstanding students. They've always been a part of it, but more recently in our history, we've decided that we really need to carve out a place for them and a special program for them. So, Patrick, talk a little bit about what's the overall goal or philosophy of the CBC Honors Program.
We're trying to empower our students to tell their story and to achieve incredible things over their 4 years of high school. Even more important than what they achieve here on our campus, though, is what they're prepared to achieve in the future, where they're going to end up for their college years and what they're going to do professionally beyond that. In the 17 years of the honors program's existence, we've seen incredible accomplishments from our young men during their high school days. In recent years, honors program graduates averaged a 31 on the ACT. That's a really high score. The general honors program graduate leaves CBC already having earned 30 or 40 hours of college credit. So essentially, you're entering college as a college sophomore if you choose to apply all of those credits where you attend. So those are two facets, the number of college credit courses that we provide to our honors program students, and those high marks on the ACT that are kind of proof to the point that truly gifted young men are part of the program here at CBC. They wind up at schools like Harvard, Stanford, NYU, Purdue, Vanderbilt, Rice, great engineering schools. All of the state schools, Missouri S&T, Mizzou. We have students in the honors programs at those schools. SLU here locally, WashU as well. And really, where they go is a part of where they go, where they have the opportunity to attend, is an important part of what we offer our students during their experience in the honors program. We're always pushing them to see what else is out there, see what other schools might be the best fit for them. We challenge them, and we also support them through their 4 years. We're really proud of what our young men have accomplished. Just a few more schools. A few years ago, we had 3 young men get into Notre Dame. This last year, we had 3 different students gain admission to each of the 3 service academies. So we have a member of the class of 2019 at West Point, a member at the Naval Academy, and a member out in Colorado at the Air Force Academy. All very selective schools, really hard to get into those schools. And we're so proud of our young men for their hard work and for gaining admissions to the best schools in the country.
Yeah, so challenging those academically gifted students and providing an environment for them to thrive, to demonstrate their ability to get a high ACT score, to score 5s on the APs, to earn college credit courses. I think you mentioned we have like 35 college credit courses here. Hundreds of hours of college credit. I mean, literally saving our families millions of dollars of cost in college the moment our graduates walk across that stage. And so all of those things are really awesome. But I think there's another part of the program that I'm really excited about. And Craig, talk a little bit more about that part of the program, because I think this program, where I think it's special, is it's bigger than just the numbers.
Yeah, and that's really like our philosophy here at CBC, right? Treat every student as individuals. Patrick rattled off some of our congregate numbers of our program that make it really impressive and people like to hear. But I think it's so important that we take every student individually to tell their story. It's great that they have these high, and all of our students they do really well in my course on the AP test, right? And all of our AP classes. They're really excited about those scores, but they don't tell like who they are and their story. So this kind of is an extra layer of support to help them articulate that, and also find out where they want to go, whether it's whatever university they want to attend or whatever job field they're most interested in. So our honors program provides them the opportunity, time, and space to do that, to help them find out what they're good at, what they actually care about, and then eventually where and how they're going to make a difference in the community around them. So our portfolio program calls students in to provide evidence, their evidence for critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. Skills that universities that we work with, workplaces that we work with, have identified as things they really want and that are really important for the students' lives outside of school. So what we try to do is provide them these opportunities. So a student creates has their portfolio of experiences, kind of like their highlight film of their best work in those areas, also showing their growth over their 4 years. And they have to present their project work. They have to present they take from the project work their best stuff after they get feedback. They keep iterating and improving upon it. And they present their portfolio in their first couple of years at different steps to teachers, administrators, and people outside of our CBC community. So in showing the evidence in those areas, they start to craft like who they are. So one student may have a portfolio that's kind of STEM heavy. Another student may be more like humanities heavy, like something that I'm most interested and passionate about in my field, but it's really up to them to how they kind of craft that. We just help them, give them like the basis for telling that story of who they are. And as you know, the more and more that you do that, the more competent you are. So when colleges, workplaces, maybe even their relatives over Thanksgiving or Christmas or another holiday, ask them what they've been working on, they can feel comfortable in sharing those stories.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I know you guys have done a great job to kind of separate this out so that you've got like two different parts of their experience. So Patrick, talk a little bit about, maybe how the first year or two in the honors program for maybe a freshman or a sophomore different from, say, what a junior or a senior would do, because those are two very, very different kids. So Craig talked about how individual these portfolios are and how they're meant to show the individual, but structurally, how does that set up?
Yeah, so you're building your portfolio and your story over your entire 4-year duration here in high school. But how we chunk that out and how we help organize your thought process and your efforts is kind of broken down into two phases. Freshman and sophomore year, it's a lot of discovery. So we're encouraging you to explore all the different courses available at CBC, the career paths you might take, the colleges that you may go to. Again, we're opening your eyes to as many of those possibilities as we can and as you're interested in, so that we can help you find and continue to refine your passions. As you approach your junior year, we build toward a capstone project that demonstrates how you can focus in on one area a bit more specifically, and then pour your passion and your time into that area, and have a one piece of work that is a part of your portfolio that includes many pieces of work, but one piece of work that you're truly most proud of and that can be the best example that you can show a college admissions officer, or potentially down the line somebody who you're hoping to gain employment from in a job interview. It's all a part of that iterative process where you're accomplishing work, you're getting feedback from teachers and from experts in that field, and then eventually you develop that capstone project and you present that capstone project, and you show us, you convince us that all the time and effort that we've poured into you and your development has been worthwhile, and we kind of stamp that capstone project approved or accomplished. And you move forward in your high school career, and then your career beyond that, with that as a telltale sign of your years here at CBC.
Yeah, and I think I've heard you describe it. One of the things I think is really important is you guys have worked very closely with our students as they've transitioned to or applied to highly selective universities, we see that every kid that's applying to Notre Dame has a 35 on the ACT and has all the AP scores to show. And every kid that's doing that, and really what like Notre Dame wants to know is what else? And what you guys are producing here through the portfolio work is like their what else story, right?
That's a great way to put it, Jim. Yeah, it's on all the job interviews I ever went on in my life, nobody ever asked me what my ACT or SAT score was, and more, in particular in response to the coronavirus and all of the impacts that it's had on students being able to take an ACT test. We're seeing more and more colleges transition away from static numeric scores on a standardized test and more toward a true intense effort at learning about each student that they're admitting and getting to know what that student is best at and how that student can differentiate himself or herself from the competition. We're really proud that the honors program goes to great lengths to make sure that our young men are ready to tell their individual story.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point.
Yeah,
go ahead, Craig.
We said we'd talk at the same time, so we just got sorry about that. Sorry to jump over you, but this idea that we have just like this great team here at CBC and a great team for our students. Our honors teachers get together monthly to talk about projects that students are definitely working on and sharing, like, I know how to do this, or I can help them. But also sharing within the classroom among students is really awesome. The benefit of students being in this honors program and taking similar courses is they learn from each other. And that's a big part of our area of collaboration, is like a student that took a coding class can bring that into their history class, or a student that, we spend days in the makerspace in my history course on their freshman year as they're building museum exhibits for our pop-up museum. So there's really, it's a great atmosphere amongst each other. You have the kids and that lifts everybody up. So great team, great support from both me and Patrick, obviously, to help them kind of communicate their story and learn how to articulate it. But also, it's really awesome. The kids, a huge benefit is that the kids get to work together in making everybody and moving everybody up.
Yeah, that seems to maybe fly in the face of what traditionally is seen as an honors program students type of education, right? So for a lot of honors program students, from the past, it's, I know how to do this. I've played school for a really long time. You tell me what you want me to know. I'm going to tell it back to you, and then you're going to give me a grade. And, over the last 10 years, we've seen the shift. And so, Craig, you talked a lot about communication and collaboration and creativity, those sorts of things. What do you see as the benefit to focusing on that stuff versus, say, like just learning more content?
Yeah, so the students are going to learn a lot, but in order to provide them opportunities where they can demonstrate these really important skills in authentic context. So a lot of the times we're getting outside the building in talking to professionals, or inside the building and having them Skype in or whatever. We're having students not just be like this transactional relationship where there's points given for different tasks. It's more transformational, as students do stuff that that not that I see as important, or just like that somebody that they're told to do, but something they find value in, and then find value in for others. So we're seeing a lot more of that, which is what places and universities they want to see, a student with real passion. That aren't just being told what to do and being able to do that task, but seeing how to do what we do in the classroom, traditional, what we'll read an article, right? We'll annotate in our courses. We'll discuss. We'll have like that stuff, but they're always taken to the next level where they're not just consumers, but they're creators. So this portfolio and capstone project allows them the opportunity to be those creators.
Yeah, Mr. Brockman, the way I like to explain it is there are students traditionally, and I think you were just talking about this, who are very self-reliant, academic, book smart, deep thinkers. That's guys like Craig. When Craig was in high school, he did great, and he could take care of himself. And then there's guys like me who I'm kind of a people person. I like to move around. I like to work in groups. I'm very intentional about working from other people and acknowledging all that I don't know in this world and can learn from others. And I think our honors program is kind of the best of both worlds. Kids who are very smart and academically driven also build those skills that will help them succeed in group settings and when they're collaborating with others throughout their lives.
Yeah, and providing them the time to reflect on those experiences too. I think that's really important. I think with the shift to our program to be more portfolio based and like project heavy, allows students to step back and reflect on what they actually did. And that's where the real learning happens. They're not just like running through or going through a bunch of hoops. At the end, they're like done, like they ran this race. It's reflecting along the way so they can best articulate their experiences, right?
Right. Yeah. And so, obviously benefits the honors program, and we talked about the numbers. The numbers are outstanding. I mean, they're going to be on par with any, top flight high school here in St. Louis or around the country. So we know those guys are going to benefit in that way, just from being in the program, period. What are some other benefits, Patrick, from being part of the honors program?
So it's benefits. It's both challenges and support. The support we offer to our honors program students is preferential class scheduling so that we can make sure that they get into all the courses, especially those honors level or AP level courses that they want to take. We also have 4-year planning that starts as soon as you're a freshman here on campus. We start talking to you about your academic goals, where you may want to go to college, and then we set you on a course to make sure you check all the boxes that you're going to need to check through your high school experiences to make sure that you can go where you want to go next. We have a dedicated member of our counseling team who works only with our honors program students. That gives a specific set of those college application supports and services to our honors program guys. And we also make sure that we bring in representatives from schools like WashU, and we take in your sophomore year, we'll make available a visit to WashU's campus to make sure that you begin to learn about what life on those campuses is like, especially those elite schools where it requires just a little bit more to gain admission.
Yeah, having that team of strike force, I think, is incredibly important. I mean, between what both you and Craig are going to do, what the honors program counselor can do. I know, Craig, you mentioned every week the honors program teachers themselves are getting together to collaborate and to better support this group of kids. Craig, talk about how highly individualized this program is and how that benefits our students.
Well, the fact that every student has a team around them, and a student can be challenged and supported at the same time. Like, this program isn't about us saying you've got to do these. There are certain requirements to uphold, but that you got to do these 3 things, and then you get the stamp on your this graduation distinction. It's more like what do you want to get out of high school? And here's some stuff that you might not even have thought of that you can accomplish. And then we try to make it as possible as we can for them. So the fact that when I studied at the Kennedy Library, I was really good at research, but I'm not really, the maker space is not, a place where I'm really comfortable in. So being able to call on our STEM teachers, or and I'm not the artist either. So calling on our art teachers to help us, help design a project for a student, or help a student express what they want to do. I mean, there's different ways to show critical thinking. So the idea that we've got the full team helping students or groups of students accomplish their goals, whether it's just a project-based or a larger goal that they want to accomplish, I think is really a benefit to our students.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think one of the things that oftentimes when I talk to families, they ask the question, is it just about taking honors courses? And I think both of you guys have nailed it on the head. This is so much more than just taking honors courses and being in honors classes and those sorts of things. It's this entire team. It's the collaborative effort. And I think that's really smart by you guys. Patrick, talk a little bit about, like, if somebody has some questions, somebody wants to kind of take the next step to learn a little bit more, what's the best way to do that?
So we hope you just continue to engage with our admissions team. Myself, I'm always available, and I'm always excited to talk about the honors program or anything else that we have going on here at CBC. Please email me if you have a specific question for me. I know Mr. Nicoletti feels the same way. He's always up for a conversation, but just keep learning more about CBC. There's so much going on here. There are so many opportunities. And really, you know, if I can leave you with one thought, it's your high school experience is going to be whatever you make of it. As much as you can put into it is how it will pay you back and what you'll get out of it. So you know, go in with a plan. Be open to adjusting that plan, because what you know today as a 7th grader or an 8th grader may change tomorrow as you open yourself up to new things and exciting things that are available on our campus or any other campus. So have a plan, be willing to adjust that plan, and then just attack the opportunities that are available to you.
Awesome. Thank you. And really, just on behalf of the admissions program, Patrick, Craig, I can't thank you guys enough for joining us here today and being part of our second ever virtual Spotlight Series. As Craig pointed out, we're probably going to talk over each other a little bit, but no, it's been awesome to have you guys. I know, you know, from our perspective, as Patrick pointed out, always engaging the admissions team. If you do have specific questions, I know Patrick and Craig would be willing to sit down with you to talk more specifically about your son and what your son's path might look like here at CBC. That can certainly just simply be arranged through the admissions team here. Craig, Patrick, thank you guys for being part of this, and we'll catch up with you guys real soon.
You bet.
Thank you
so much.
And of course, thank you everyone for joining us for our Spotlight Series today. Keep in mind that we have great ways for you to engage us through our virtual admissions program during the summer. So make sure to keep an eye out on Coffee and Conversations every Tuesday for the remainder of the summer. Every Wednesday, we will have our Spotlight Series. Every Thursday, we have our Chick-fil-A and Chat series, and that one's really focused more on our students. So there's lots of great ways for you to engage us. Of course, we are, like I said before, taking private tours for families who are comfortable. So make sure to take us up on that if you are interested. Again, for all of us here at CBC, in particular the admissions team, from Melissa Ryan, Ryan Batliner, thank you so much for being a part of this. And until next time, we'll see you.